catalyze our exports and create opportunities for Kenyans' human capital. And it appears that Raila Odinga is one of the biggest beneficiaries that as a Kenyan.
Yes.
And in my view, as I make my concluding remarks,
yes, please.
If it's possible that we can get as many people out of Kenya, we have said this times above number, it's because of that we got Barack Obama. So for these men on my right who are very ambitious, let them go to Canada, let them go to China, let them go everywhere and not come back to Kenya. So that at some stage when you're having a G20 meeting,
yes,
the president of World Bank has got Kenyan DNA, the Prime Minister of UK has got Kenyan DNA, the president of the US has got Kenyan DNA, and that is how we make progress. Okay. This idea that, there's a saying in my village that if you don't walk around, you think your mom is the best cook. But when you go to your neighbor, you discover that a GMO and rich is actually better than from your home. So we must go out and conquer the world.
Yes. Hesbon.
Yes, I think he's referring to Chiemo and Ret in reference to Matoke. So, in case you think it's Matoke, but if you move a bit, you realize it's Ret.
Yes.
But let me start with Raila. History is very important. And, the power of your story is also very critical. And the way in which we tell our stories, whether in this age of, a disrupted digital platform or in the past, was by doing the right thing. It is the right thing that then makes your story. And when it is in the past, it is history. So when you look at history and the history of Raila Odinga and what he has done over the years, there is no doubt in my mind that it doesn't matter what Kenyans on social media want to think. It doesn't matter what they say about who is going to win. But the history of what Raila has done, which was presented to the whole world during the Mjadala Africa, it was a gulf between him and the competitor. You could tell that this is a gentleman who understands issues of Africa. And when you dig back and find out what has he done in the past, you find his story told either by what he has done or by people he has impacted. And I think a number of people have also talked about age as a factor. But look at the crisis in Africa today. If you're talking about silencing the guns, the other day there's a professor that I respect who was talking about a 40-year-old, 80-year-old job. What he doesn't know is that for these African heads of state who are going to work with the chair of AUC, they need someone who has the wisdom, someone who has seen it all, someone who is fairly elderly and can see beyond what they can see.
Okay.
And you see, that gives Raila an edge. That edge that people think is an advantage is actually an edge. But finally, let me just say that if you look at the voting patterns and what would happen after the East African, time as the head of AUC, it tells you the voting pattern is likely to favor Raila because the direction towards the next region that is likely to take over power seems to be closer if they go with Raila.
All right.
Lastly, let me respond because there are a few things that were said here. One,
briefly.
Yeah, briefly.
Yes.